All right, so just wanted to show you what I thought was the trade of the day from Wednesday. This is April 5th. This is the day of the FOMC meeting minutes, which is right here at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1400. And as you can see, I've labeled the developing volume point of control for the session with this pink line on the heat map here. And so what I've noticed is that we've been kind of trading in this channel, right? As soon as 2 o'clock hit, you see the book get really thin, and we just dropped off immediately, but then recovered and have been chopping sideways in this channel ever since. Let me draw these lines out real quick. So horizontal line, look at this, 73. We've tapped 1, 2, 3 times and found sellers each time, and 70 on the nose. Boom, 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 boom. 4 times we tapped that. And so we've been trading inside of that channel. And so I was waiting to see, I mean, this is 25 minutes later that we finally get across, so 23 minutes, whatever, that we finally break out of one side of this channel. And so, you know, I'm not interested in trading this as it happens, this breakout. I'm not going to, you know, have FOMO and chase this down as it starts to break or anything like that. I want to see how it's developing and then see what I can do from there. That's going to kind of, for the market to tip its hat a little bit. And so what I see is this break of the low side of this channel. And so now I'm looking for this developing volume point of control to hold up, because that's the most likely area for sellers to become aggressive now that we've seen that the market is interested in auctioning lower prices. So let's play here. And as it comes up, you can see the liquidity starts to move down on the offer. So we see 72 get excited, and they pull a little bit but move down. And we see 71.75 and 71.50 start to flutter a little bit, but for the most part, they are pulling too. So that, you know, I'm not getting a ton of conviction out of the sellers here. So I wouldn't have gotten in quite here. I want to see what happens. We did get a little bounce there, so I'd have my finger on the mouse ready to rock here. But I also see, it looks like one participant in the market on both sides here, so I can kind of cancel those two out. They're likely going to fluctuate around the market as it moves up and down either direction. So there you go. I want to see that, and so they're starting to get aggressive. There you go. I want in short here. Am I in? There we go. I miss it and go down. I'm willing to chase it for 2 ticks, and I did that exactly. So I chase it for 2 ticks, and I'm in at 71, which is kind of okay anyways, because I like to keep my stop range within 8 ticks. There we go. It looks like. Let me get my scale out in place here while I'm talking. 69.25, 1 tick ahead of the most recent swing lows, and my stop is right here at this 73 level. If it gets back up here again, I expect it to break through. And there you go. So I got one of those is done. I don't know if I just canceled on both or not. There you go. Just canceled one. So let me pause it here for a second. So I get my scale out. So now my average price is still indicated here, 71 on the dome, but actually I've gained 7 ticks per contract with my scale out here. So really my theoretical average is 72.75. That's my 0 line. So I'm going to move that. I'm going to you know, make sure at least I'm not losing anything on this trade. I've mitigated my risk, right? And now I want to look at 1 lots for my targets further down. Okay, and as this moves down and I have another opportunity to add on, let me get these out of the way here also because they're a little bit distracting. I want to add on whenever I can to try to stay aggressive in this direction. If I'm right, I want to be right, you know, a lot. Okay, so here we are. I've just gotten the scale out. We've moved the stop to my theoretical average, 72.75. So if this turns all the way around and comes back to 72.75, like I said, break even on the trade, minus commissions and fees, whatever. But let's look at the daily homework and see. All right, so we've already seen, let's see where my next target is here. All right, so I would be looking for my first scaled half at 69.25. My target would be at 65.75 and 63.25. All right, so let's look at what those are. 65.75 and 63.25. And I front run all of my targets by 3 ticks here. Okay, so just to give you an idea, let's recenter this just so I have a little better idea. So here's where the 65 half area comes from. 65.75, is that what that is? Yeah, 65.75. So this swing low here, excuse me, is right at 65. So I'm front running this next swing low as well, because if you recall, we've been in positive territory. We gapped up on this day. Here's 9 o'clock, so the open was right here. We gapped up and immediately saw initiative buying away from the prior close. We did open in range, but pushed up away from the prior close. So that tells me that, you know, the buyers are pretty serious here. And of course, you know, after 2 o'clock, kind of anything goes. But for the most part, so far, buyers have been in charge of this whole auction. And in spite of that, I can see that the total delta is negative 6,000. And I mean, of course, you know, some of that is due to still, it was right around 0 actually, right as we started the FOMC meeting minutes. So I guess you can't take too much from that. But I'm in short now. I'm looking for my next target. So next target's going to be swing low, and then ahead of the initial balance low, which would basically be a neutral day had we broken up here, but we didn't. So we got within 1 tick of the initial balance high and rolled back over. Let me confirm that. Yeah, that's correct. And so we haven't seen a break of that first hour's range to either direction, which, as you all recall, is very high probability of happening during the regular trading hours. So that's what this second one is. And then I'm going to hold on to my third one for a runner, because you never know what's going to happen, and it's Fed day, so this kind of is perfect. And as we start to move down, let's zoom in a little bit here. I'm sure you probably all recall what happened for the rest of the day. That was the area to get in right there. And so as I'm watching this come down, and normally I'd have my notes in here too, but they've already been deleted and filled up with today's notes. So here we go. We've got the one, and you know, I'm not really seeing anything. This is a pretty straight shot down here. I mean, I could move a really aggressive stop up here to 69.75, but I'm not really wrong for quite some time up here, until above my entry, really, until above this developing volume point of control. So I got 2 left. I'm going to put it above the volume point of control. You know, we've still got this zipper. We've got a zipper here. I could put it here, and I'd be comfortable with that, because you get a little bit of exhaustion at this tip. There's a little bit of a consolidation right here. There's the second one. So now I'm rolling with 1 contract, and I'm looking for places to get rid of it. Let me make sure I'm holding on to 1 so I can click it if I need to. If I think we're seeing a low or a bottom and it starts to roll, we see, look, a little bit of a lower high. I mean, sorry, a higher low and a higher high here. So this has got me thinking, you know, if we get above here, I could cancel it out, close out, flatten this position. Let's see, looking for other areas, but we're still not seeing. I mean, we came down here on a ton of volume, and there you go. It starts to rotate back up. We get higher than this. Now I'm really interested. If we break above that, that's enough for me. That's good enough, man. And so that's the trade. I'm flat. Let me pause this. I don't have anything open. I was just going to cancel it, but that's the trade. I mean, I saw we got a collision here. We took volume was 1917 went off here. We had 1158 here on the bid that came in right as price came down to it, and we saw a rejection there. And if we revisit that, I expect it to continue higher. Otherwise, we might revisit it, chop around, push down lower, revisit it again, and continue lower. And that's another opportunity for me to get short if I need to get short. But I took this last contract because we saw that collision and the rejection. We saw buyers step in with good volume here also, and a push above these prior swing highs. A little bit of a consolidation and kind of almost an impulse pullback and continuation on a very short time frame here. So that's it. I'm done right there. Okay, and I'm not going to be concerned that the rest of the day turned out to go down for another 30 points or whatever it was. Let's see if we got a revisit of that. Here was the pass through of that collision. I guess we didn't really see a revisit there, but the rest is history. I mean, you all watched this as well, and I would have loved to held that runner throughout all of this, but when can you predict that, man? I mean, it just went, and I held my runner for as long as I felt comfortable doing, and kind of squeezed to the market, and had that continued to roll over then, or I don't know, maybe I walked away and had a sandwich and left my stop up there or something, that would have been really convenient, because then I would step back into the office and see that this is happening, which would be great. But in real time, that wasn't the case, and so that's what I think was a trade of the day. I hope you guys gained something out of that. See ya.